Hi, folks. Brad and Pamela from Wellness Within. Pamela, so much is being written nowadays about meditating and quieting your mind, saying affirmations, being grateful, showing appreciation, expressing kindness, thinking positive thoughts, and showing love.
That's really true. And for good reason. Because what was proven by cell biologist Dr. Bruce Lipton way back in 1967 is now finally being acknowledged and recognized as fact by the scientific community.
Wow. So what would that be?
That the health of our bodies is directly related to the nature of our thoughts, our beliefs, and perceptions, and not the result of the genes we inherited, which is what most of us have been taught.
Certainly we were. Yeah, I remember Dr. Lipton stating that knowledge is power, and lack of knowledge is lack of power. Now, we grew up believing we were victims of our heredity, thinking that we inherited the same disease genes our parents had. Well, certainly there's no power in that. So in this segment, let's set the record straight.
Okay.
Let's do that by putting the power into the hands of our listeners, by sharing a little bit of science about why we're not victims of our genes. Instead, we are masters of our health.
Okay. So let's start by asking a question. What do these 8 diseases and conditions have in common? Alzheimer's disease, asthma, cancer, eczema, fibromyalgia, migraine headaches, phobias, and rheumatoid arthritis.
That's a tough one.
It is, isn't it? Well, according to the National Library of Medicine, doctors don't know the true cause of these, nor, for that matter, do they know the true cause of nearly every other disease or condition known. While there are still many who claim the causes are genetic, results of the Human Genome Project and the science of epigenetics have proven that genes cause less than 1% of known diseases and conditions. So, Brad, you want to tell our listeners what the Human Genome Project is all about?
Sure will. So in 1990, a group of international scientists began a 13-year project known as the Human Genome Project. Their mission was to study and catalog every gene in the human body. Now, they knew going in that the body produced 100,000 different proteins, which are the building blocks of our body. Their hope was that they would discover 100,000 genes, thinking each gene produced one protein. And furthermore, they're also thinking if they could isolate the cancer gene and the protein that that cancer gene produced, they could modify the expression of that gene and end up solving the cancer issue or heart disease or any other cure. Well, it didn't work out too well because they ended up discovering that there was less than 24,000 genes, not 100,000 genes. In addition, they discovered that each gene expressed more than one protein, most cases more multiple proteins, in some over 3,000 different proteins or building blocks. Now, this is pretty amazing information because these findings rule out the idea that there is a cancer gene or a heart disease gene or a disease gene for pretty much any other ailment or disease known.
Right, it is pretty astounding. So, okay, back to the drawing board. This finding opened the door to the science of epigenetics that has concluded that genes are activated, which means turned on or turned off, not by themselves, but by signals in the cell's external environment.
What do you mean signals in the cell's external environment?
Well, the external environment of our 50 trillion cells is blood, right? Which is saturated with chemicals and neurotransmitters. It's these chemicals and neurotransmitters that provide the signals that influence which genes are activated and which proteins those genes produce, either healthy proteins or unhealthy proteins. So here's the power that we've been talking about. The type of chemicals and neurotransmitters that are in your blood signaling your gene expression depend on the nature of your moment-to-moment thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions.
Wow, that is powerful. So it also means that whatever picture you hold in your mind is translated into complementary chemistry.
Right.
So what I mean by that is there's a different chemistry for what you're thinking about and how you're interpreting your world from one moment to another. In other words, if you're expressing love, appreciation, gratitude, kindness, positive thoughts, etc., your blood will be saturated with chemicals and neurotransmitters that nourish your cells and send healthy signals to your cells. On the flip side, if you're experiencing fear or guilt, resentment, frustration, overwhelm, anxiety, well, the blood is now saturated with stress chemicals and neurotransmitters, sending different information to your cells. And if present too long, will activate unhealthy gene expression.
It's exactly right. There is some very exciting news around all of this. And that is that you can tell what signals your cells are receiving by how you feel emotionally. So as we mentioned, knowledge is power. So knowing that your thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions control the biology puts you in the driver's seat in terms of managing your health. So here's your call to action. When you recognize that you are experiencing negative emotions, well, first off, acknowledge them. Don't try to suppress them or push them away. Acknowledge them. And then shift your thoughts to something else that brings you a good feeling, some joy or happiness.
And just to note, folks, that you may find at times it's difficult to make that shift because disempowering beliefs are operating from your subconscious mind. They're programs, and you're not even aware of them. Now, if that's the case, please reach out to us. We can certainly help you alter those sabotaging programs. Reach out to Pamela at wellnesswithinct.com or to me at brad@wellnesswithinct.com. That's all for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.